Why are you withholding this information? Ooh, I'm gonna tease you. Ooh, will I debate? Will I not debate? What are you doing? Trump is now attacking Fannie Willis live on Newsmax. Oh shit. Okay. Here's Trump on Newsmax.
Next week. Fani Willis, the prosecutor in Georgia, they're setting up barricades outside the
Terrible.
They're in preparation, obviously, I would assume, for an indictment.
Dude, Newsmax is so sweet because they're like, if you have been fired from Fox News for sexual harassment, which is like, I don't know, getting fired from the Gestapo for being too much of a Nazi. You know what I mean? It's like, how the fuck do you get fired from Fox News for sexual harassment when it's like a requirement for your job, right? That's how they like elevate you in the company. Didn't this guy get fired? Was it Eric Bowling? Is that his name? Am I remembering my hogs right? Oh yeah. Eric Bowling is out at Fox News over sex pictures. What? Who wrote this article? Sex pictures. It's like typing boobs into Google to look at porn. The sex pictures, you see? Fox News is canceling The Specialist, and Eric Bowling and Fox have agreed to part ways amicably. We thank Eric for 10 years of service to our loyal viewers and wish him the best of luck. Charles Payne was cleared in an internal investigation of sexual harassment claims lodged by female political analyst who was a frequent guest on his program. Bowling got its final airing. The allegations against Bowling were among the many to hit 21st Century Fox, which has been plagued by sexual harassment allegations since former Fox News anchor Gershon Carlson filed suit last year against the former network's former chief executive, Roger Ailes. Bill O'Reilly was pushed out. Bowling was suspended after a report from the website HuffPost said the host was sending lewd photos from his cell phone to former and current female colleagues at the network. Yeah, he denied it. Payne was investigated on charges from a female political commentator who said she was allegedly coerced into a sexual relationship with him in return for guest appearances on the network. Yeah, I mean, this makes a lot of sense. Anyway, Newsmax is literally like, if you were sexually harassed or if you were sexually harassing at Fox News to a degree that like made it untenable, made your relationship with the network untenable, unmanageable, please come over to Newsmax. You can do all the sexual harassment you want. Come over. We got you.
What are your thoughts of her? Because there's some discussion that she may have some questionable background. There's some, her father may or may not have been in Black Panther. I think that was discussed. She's had perhaps incorrect relationships with some of the people, some of the gang members that she's also prosecuting right now. Can she give you a fair shake?
No, of course not. Look, I don't think the people of Georgia, where I did very well, and I won it the first time, and I won it, I think, by much more the second time. I can say that about the whole election, too. I don't think they'd stand for it. This woman is not a capable woman. She's a woman that has, and maybe she'll change her mind. And I don't know what she's doing. I really don't know. All I know is she could have done it 2.5 years ago if she was going to do something. And this is about a perfect phone call, a call where I'm questioning the election. I'm telling them that, in my opinion, the election was rigged. And they're saying that I did something incorrect. I didn't do anything wrong. I believe I won that election by many, many votes, many, many hundreds of thousands of votes. That's what I think. And I expressed that on the phone call. And I said, I don't know what the number was, like 11,000 or something. I said, what I need is 11,000 votes. I won this thing by hundreds of thousands of votes. That's my opinion, and it's a strong opinion. And I think it's borne out by the facts, and we'll see that. But she wants to do something on a perfect phone call. This call, I say, was more perfect than my call with Ukraine, which turned out to be a hell of a lot better than people even thought, because I was right about Ukraine. When I said you should look into and take a look at Biden, I called to congratulate Zelensky, nice guy. I get along great with him. I get along great with Putin. And frankly, I'll have something worked out within literally 24 hours. I will get
Hunter Biden's ex, Allie Kennedy, tells our stripper girlfriend and reveals how Joe's whipping boy was into FaceTime showers, 800 all over spray tans, pricey dinners at SDK Steakhouse, and group sex.
Again. And even when you're talking about the light stuff and the personal stuff.
No. And wait until you hear.
Why is he going on Newsmax?
Joe Biden's state of mind. Here's the president from Bedminster moments ago. Mr. President, thank you for sitting down with us, spending some time with us. A very busy schedule. You've been killing it. You've been doing extremely well. The poll numbers are off the charts. You got some new polling. Tell us about it.
Well, I guess we're up by 45 and 50 points now, and it's a great honor. People see what's happening with our country. They see how badly it's doing. I think they're trying really to contrast that to 4 really incredible years. We rebuilt our military. We got the largest tax cuts in history, the largest regulation cuts in history. We did so much, and we had such success. We were respected around the world. You know that better than anybody. We were respected by China and by Russia and by everybody. You wouldn't have had Ukraine and Russia. You wouldn't have had Taiwan and China. You wouldn't, which could very well happen. By
super basic stuff, but it's important to note, Trump always simplifies his message. All the bad things happening because of Biden. All the good things that happened because of me. If I was in charge, none of the bad things would happen, and only the good things would happen. Very basic. No reason to get into like convoluted policy prescriptions. If they ever push him on it, he always says, can't reveal it. It's a secret. Can't give the game away. Bye-bye. You know, whenever he was asked about like any kind of foreign policy, like how will you deal with ISIS? He'd be like, it'd be brutal. Can't tell you more. It's a secret. It's perfect for the first grade level audience. What do you mean? That is perfect for. Yeah, exactly. I mean that unironically.
By the way, and we were doing very well as a country, and then all of a sudden we have this group of people running it, and they're incompetent. This Joe Biden is just an incompetent man, and he's crooked as you can be. Crooked, we really do. We call him Crooked Joe now because what they've done with the election.
They really do.
To weaponize a DOJ and an FBI like he's done. People have thought about it for probably 100 years, and they do it in third world countries, but they never did it here. Where you have 3 and 4 indictments. You never had an indictment in your whole life, and now you have 3 or 4 in a period of a month. It's all because of the election. They could have done it 2.5 years ago, by the way, if they really wanted to.
This is my favorite Trump line, because no, you can't. Like, the classified documents thing could not have happened. Even the January 6th one that just came down could not have happened. The first one could not have happened 2 or 3 months ago, or 2 or 3 years ago either, because when you were president, you wouldn't let it happen when the investigation originally started. But the second one and third one, you absolutely couldn't do because it hadn't been an issue yet. Like, how are they supposed to prosecute him on mishandling classified documents? Oh my God, that's really good. Boy fucking cooked Steven Crowder. Has he never pumped his own gas before? Why is he doing it himself anyway? He should just make his pregnant wife do it? Oh God, that's so good. I miss them. Miss them so much.
But they never thought it was going to be necessary. But we're leading him by a lot, too. We're leading not only the Republicans by, I guess, 50 and 52 points. That's a lot. But we're leading Biden by a lot. And they've weaponized everything. It's called election interference. And I don't think they're getting away with the game because since they've done this, our poll numbers have gone up. The people of this country know it, but we have a crooked guy. We have an incompetent man. I would have never said that, but when they did that, then you sort of say.
What do you mean you would have never said that? You called him, didn't you call him sleepy and creepy?
Hey, let's take the gloves off. What they're doing to this country at the border, what they're doing to our country with taxes, they're using the environment to just destroy people. I mean, the windmills are absolutely the most expensive form of energy you can have. We have liquid gold right under our feet. We were making a fortune. And then he turned that off, and it's an environmental nightmare.
Yeah, Biden, remember when he Remember when he made it illegal to pump oil in the country? It was crazy.
There's some news that came out today. James Comer, the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, released some documents that showed that the Biden family received tens of millions of dollars from countries like Kazakhstan and Ukraine and others. One of the subtexts was there was a transfer of money, $142,300 that went from one of these foreign oligarchs right into the Devon Archer and Hunter Biden company, which they turned around the very next day and purchased a sports car, same dollar amount.
Yeah.
They're doing this type of thing, and you're answering indictments and arraignments.
Well, it's incredible. I mean, it really is incredible. And
it is. I can't believe he's running against Hunter Biden, who is currently the president of the United States of America, who is famously engaged in shady dealings with a Ukrainian company he had no business having any kind of role in. Unlike Donald Trump, who's never had a shady dealing with any foreign nationals at all that he might have delegated to his son-in-law to deal with in exchange for favors or monetary compensation while he was the president, unlike Hunter Biden, who never was the president. So what is that argument? I mean, the idea that like I've admitted this so many times, Hunter Biden is a nepotism beneficiary, 100% trafficked in the Biden name. Like, he utilized the Biden name to get positions that he was not supposed to. He kind of conned a bunch of companies and maybe even foreign emissaries, right? But like his proximity to power is, you know, infinitely further than Donald Trump Jr. or Jared Kushner and Donald Trump. At a certain point, it's like a cheat code. It's like, well, everything that I've done is actually perfectly legal and cool, and everything that Hunter Biden has done is perfectly illegal and uncool.
And I'm answering him not for that. I'm answering because I question an election. Not only question, I totally dispute that election. I think it's ridiculous what happened and that they allowed that to happen and that the media doesn't want anybody to talk about it. But now we can. And we did something yesterday. You know, now that we have the subpoena power, because we now have subpoena power, all of a sudden the J6 committee, the unselects, I call them, everything was deleted and destroyed. The documents, everything was deleted and destroyed. That's a criminal act. So all of that stuff, all of that nonsense you watched for a year and a half go on with all Democrats and two so-called Republicans, but they were worse than any of the Democrats, Kinzinger and Cheney. It's all been deleted and gotten rid of. They deleted it because they didn't want anybody to see it, because the real answers were there, but they didn't want to report it. That's incredible. And when you talk about Russia and you talk about money coming in, during one of the debates, if you remember, the second debate, I said, what about the mayor of Moscow's wife? $3.5 million. And Chris Wallace was like fighting me. You shouldn't ask that. You shouldn't. And nobody's mentioning that, but that was a major bone of contention, because I was saying to Chris Wallace, he got $3.5 million, and I believe it was him, indirectly or directly, and I was debating Joe Biden, not Hunter Biden. I got $3.5 million. I said, what about the $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife that was given to you? And Chris Wallace, really? I said, who am I debating? Am I debating him or am I debating you?
You bring up a good point.
Wait, what is that even? What? I don't even know what that is. And at this point, I don't even... Dude, there's so much information. I feel like this is like talking to a Sword Art Online fan who's like 11 seasons deep. And they're just trying to describe to you something. And I'm like, I've missed so much. I'm sorry. I stopped watching after the third episode. It was unwatchable, okay? It's like, what? How many layers are we into the Trump universe, the Trump cinematic universe, and like all the villains? The mayor of Moscow gave Joe Biden money? Mayor of Moscow's wife gave Joe Biden money? What? Like, what the fuck? It's one of those things where it's like, I don't even know what he's talking about. I've never even heard of it. And he apparently said it on the debate stage. I don't remember that. CNN fact check. Did Hunter Biden receive $3.5 million from the former mayor of Moscow's wife? Trump claimed the Biden son, Hunter Biden, got $3.5 million payment from the wife of the former mayor of Moscow. Why is it, just out of curiosity, the mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son $3.5 million? Hunter Biden denies the allegation. Hunter Biden was not an owner of the firm Senate Republicans alleged received $3.5 million of payments in 2014. Hunter Biden had no interest in and was not a co-founder of Rosemont Seneca Thornton. So the claim that he was paid $3.5 million is false. A partisan investigation conducted by Senate Republicans, whose report was released this month, alleged that Elena Baturina, a Russian businesswoman, the wife of late Moscow Yuri Lozkow, and that the payment was identified as a consultancy agreement. The report did not provide any other details about the transaction. Hunter Biden was a co-founder and CEO of the investment firm Rosemont Seneca Advisors. But Hunter Biden did not co-found Rosemont Seneca Thornton. It's not clear what connection exists between Rosemont Seneca Advisors and Rosemont Seneca Thornton. Neither the Senate report nor Trump have provided any evidence that the payment was corrupt or that Hunter Biden committed any wrongdoing. What assassination happened in Ecuador? What? How do you guys find out about like crazy shit? Presidential candidate Fernando Villavicencio assassinated at a campaign event in the Quito area on the evening of August 9th. 2 weeks ago, mayor of Ecuadorian city of Manta assassinated and attacked. What's happening, bro? Right-winger wasn't our guys. This happened 5 years ago to Eric Bowling. Wait, what? Oh, did he get fucking hacked? Türk Süper Ordusu Ay Yıldız Tim tarafından hacklendiniz. Oh, Ay Yıldız Tim hacked them. Hey, hi. How you doing? Ah, öyle mi? Wow. Oh, she's excited. Hell yeah. We got your DM correspondence. We will show you the power of the Turk. Poor guy. The Ay Yıldız team probably saw so many of his dick pics, I assume. Donald Trump uttered the phrase, the mayor of Moscow's wife, literally hundreds of times now. It irks me every time because he means the wife of the mayor of Moscow. The way he says it from a linguistic standpoint means the mayor who presides over the wife of Moscow. Okay, well, that's not that important. A report on the Indonesian massacre of native Papuans? Are you guys fucking joking right now? Dude! What is happening? I'm losing my fucking mind. No, I didn't finish the Mormon video. We've jumped to like 11 different things. Dude, as soon as I do a little bit, like, I click on one accidental foreign policy. This is a link, and then it's over. All hell breaks loose in the chat. You know what it is? You know what it is? I made the mistake of even briefly talking about the EFF, and also on top of that, Niger. Okay? I should have never made this mistake, but I did. And as soon as I did that, I gave the go-ahead to all the fucking NatSec, foreign policy blob Andes. Okay? You have ADHD, but we have 84K.
The next topic I want to talk about, the debate. Chris Wallace was at Fox. He stopped that debate down and fact-checked you, and he was wrong.
He was so wrong.
Which begs the question, August 23rd, Fox debate. You said, in the past, you said I'd be stupid to go to the debate because I'm winning. Someone else used a comment like, why eat when you're not hungry? You're not going to that debate, are you?
So I'll let it be known next week. But look, I'm leading by 50 and 55 points over DeSanctimonious. The nice part is I'm leading by a lot over Biden. Nobody's ever led by so much over somebody. We just have to make sure they don't cheat on the elections, because that's the question I get more. Sir, will they do it again? Will they cheat again? We're not going to let them. We can't let them, because that election will be the most important election in
Nobody
the
has
history of our
gotten
country,
as big as a lead as me.
Going to hell. You look at our borders, we're being invaded at our borders. Prisons are being emptied out into our country, and mental institutions, insane asylums, it's a stronger word. but or words, because he would say word, it's words, but insane asylums being emptied out into our country, terrorists are pouring into our country. They're catching a lot, but the ones that are really bad and really smart, they're getting through, and we have no idea where they are and who they are, where they come from. Our country is in serious trouble. We are at a level where I don't think we've ever been like this. I think it started with the election, but I think it also, a big part of it was Afghanistan. When they saw how incompetent we handled that, when we left, when we took out the soldiers first, and I was all set, we were going to leave with dignity and strength.
My favorite part about this is that he always wants to get the best of both worlds. Like, the Afghan withdrawal makes him a peaceful dove. So, like, he's actually he's pro-withdrawal, but not in the way that Joe Biden did it, even though Joe Biden literally was acting out the desires of the former administration, his administration. So, like, he is the one who negotiated the terms of the withdrawal. Joe Biden followed through on it. And so he can just say, it was my withdrawal, it was really good, and if I were to do it, it would be really good. It was my, but he will never say it was his plan, okay? It's just, he gets the best of both worlds. Same with the abortion thing, which is, in the Afghanistan withdrawal situation, he can at least make it seem like he could have done it better. But the abortion thing is entirely his fault. So he is trying to dance around the reality of what his actions caused and what the Republican Party did, obviously. On the one hand, he's trying to basically take ownership over, the 3 Supreme Court justices, which he did do, and also the abortion ban. But also he's like, but I did it so you can have a conversation, because he recognizes that it's not very popular. That, on the other hand, is not a very good talking point for him.
I dealt with the head of the Taliban, and the press went crazy. How would you call him? I call him because that's the one that was making the decisions. As they said to Jesse James, you remember Jesse James, the bank robber, why do you only rob banks? I rob banks because that's where the money is. So I spoke to the head of the Taliban, and we had a very good understanding. For 18 months, not one American soldier was even shot at, and he knew not to do it. And then this guy takes over, and he moves the military out first, leaving 13 dead soldiers, 36 horrifically wounded, many other people dead. People don't talk about that, but many, many people dead. And all of this for nothing. And what else did we leave behind? $85 billion worth of equipment. Billion, not million. $85 billion worth of the best military equipment in the world, because I rebuilt the military. So I bought most of that equipment. They gave a lot of it to the Taliban, to Afghanistan. So I don't think we've ever had a country in worse shape. One thing very important, today it's nuclear. It's not army tanks going back and forth. And we have a man that can't put 2 sentences together, he has no idea what's going on with Russia, with China, with Pakistan, with India, with Iran. I had Iran. They were going to make a deal within 1 week after the election. They would have had a deal, and there would have been no nuclear weapons. Now they're very close to having a nuclear weapon.
It's really fucked up for him to say anything about Iran, because objectively, he made that situation worse. Like, certain things that Donald Trump did that were all right with foreign policy, and then certain things that were actually pretty decent with the Obama administration as far as foreign policy goes, both of which Donald Trump destroyed. The things I'm obviously referencing are ending the embargo on Cuba, ending the blockade on Cuba, like normalizing relationships with Cuba, which was a good decision. And the Iran denuclearization agreement was a good decision. And it took a very long time to get to that point. And Donald Trump just literally destroyed it, eviscerated it, absolutely cumstered and dumpstered it. It was very fucked up. Very, very fucked up what he did.
And we have a man who's grossly incompetent as our president, and he has no idea. You take a look at what's happened to us worldwide. Saudi Arabia has left us, essentially. Iran is a disaster. We would have had Iran. It was going to be very good for everybody. There would have been no nuclear weapons. But China's trying to take over the world, and they're doing it. They're in Cuba now. They're taking over, essentially, quietly, militarily, they're taking over Cuba, but they're taking over South America. They're taking over the Panama Canal. How about the Panama Canal? We lost 36,000 lives. The mosquito. We lost 36,000.
I heard about the Cuba thing before. It's too good to be true, but I had not heard about Latin American takeovers in general. You know? It's pretty funny. Yeah. China's taking over South America. They're doing it.
Lives building the Panama Canal. It was stupidly sold for $1 to Panama. Okay, how about that one? It was done during the Carter administration. It was sold for $1, and now China is taking it over. But they have President Xi of China no respect for this country anymore. They have no respect. We're like a laughingstock because we have an incompetent president.
We have so much. You just opened up so many avenues right now. But just to clean up, tie up the Fox debate. You said you'll decide next week. What is there?
I'll be announcing. Yeah, I've already decided, and I'll be.
I'm surprised he hasn't said. Oh God, he's so whimsical. I know already. I'll be announcing later. It's like, what are you, the fucking Riddler? Just say if you're going to debate or not. What do you mean? Why are you withholding this information? Ooh, I'm going to tease you. Ooh, will I debate? Will I not debate? What are you doing? Just fucking say it. He loves gamifying it, dude. He's just like, it's awesome.
Announcing something next week.
Yes. I noticed the Fox senior executives came and had dinner with you and pitched you. Did they move the needle?
Well, they were very nice. Look, they were very nice.
Here's why, Mr. President. The only reason I say this, I put a
damn that he had a hard time getting that Fox bit out. He's like, those fucking bastards.
Poll up on Twitter. At least 2/3 of the people don't want you to do the debate because they feel it could be a setup. Are you concerned about Fox setting up?
Well, when you're at 75, 78, 80%, and other guys are at 0, 1%.
Brother, Fox News needs him more than Trump needs Fox News at this point. No, actually, that's not true. They both need each other. It's a mutually beneficial relationship, which both parties should understand. There is 0% chance that Fox News is going to try to fucking long dick him, especially when Trump, very cleverly, is already going on Newsmax a week prior. You know what I mean? What do you mean a setup? They can't do anything unless they, like, shut his mic off or something. But even then, that would actually garner a lot of support for Donald Trump. People would go nutty mode. People would lose their minds. They'd be like, Fox News is rhinos. They're crazy. Look what they did to my boy Tucker Carlson. Like, it's really fucked up. Now they're doing it to Trump. Like, no shot. I genuinely don't understand why they wouldn't, like, why Trump's team would not want to thrive in that environment, because he would.
2%, 3%. You do say, what's the upside? Am I going to go up 1 point? But they could go up. You know, they're not dumb people. They're senators. They're governors. They're intelligent people. You have some very good people. I think you have some very good people, and you have some people. I mean, I have a problem with the debate for another reason. I wouldn't sign the pledge. Why would I sign a pledge? There are people on there that I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have certain people as, you know, somebody that I'd endorse. So they want you to sign a pledge. But I can name 3 or 4 people that I wouldn't support for president. So right there's a problem, okay? Right there's a problem. But I don't have to use that.
Right now,
no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. There's no reason to insult them. But there are some people there that a lot of people wouldn't endorse, but they wouldn't be right. They're not going to go anywhere, by the way. They're not going to get it. But I wouldn't endorse it.
So the RNC said that's one of the requirements for, so you won't sign it.
Well, they have 3 or 4 people that I wouldn't, you know, who would put these people as president? If you ever put these people as president, but you'll get somebody else. There'll be somebody. But right now, I saw Kristi Noem, who's terrific. She's done a fantastic job. I watched her this morning. She was on television. They asked her, are you going to run? Because there are other people running. Are you going to run? She said, no. Why aren't you going to run? Because nobody can beat Trump. She said it, which I greatly respect. I mean, she's saying, I hope the truth. She said, why would I run? Nobody's going to beat Trump. There's not even a contest. These people are just wasting their time. Somebody like Asa Hutchinson, who's polling at 0, will ask me nasty questions. Somebody like Chris.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it doesn't help that, like, most of Trump's detractors are polling at, like, somehow new lows, which I didn't even think you could get to. Like they're polling at like minus 10% somehow. Like people are spitting on them. It's like it was impossible before. We had to create new scientific polling methods to figure out how poorly these guys are doing.
Christie is polling at 1%, and he's going to ask me nasty questions, and others too. And then you have some that are very good. I mean, Tim Scott has been very nice, and Ramaswamy has been very, very nice. I mean, these are, you know, very capable people, very good people. But why would you do that when you're leading by so much? Ronald Reagan didn't do it. Nixon didn't do it. Many people didn't do it. And but I'm going to look at it very seriously. I'd like to do it. I've actually gotten very good marks on debating talents.
Wait, what?
But you want to be, you know, they want a smart president.
Wait, is he talking about incumbents? I don't think he's going to do it. Wait. But Trump is not the incumbent. Like he's not the president. What? I don't get it. He's saying they don't do it on their second terms, like when they're the incumbent. But but you're not the incumbent because you're a former president. I don't even know if this has happened. Has there ever been a one-term president that, I'm sure it has happened. I can't think of it right now. A one-term president that comes back and runs again? Grover Cleveland. Damn, y'all are fucking nerds, dude. So, I don't know. I don't think that you can get away with claiming that you're still the incumbent president. You asked him, oh no, it was nice. It's good that there's better than Google immediate answer feedback machine.
They want somebody that's going to be smart, so we have to do the smart thing.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you that why would you do it? Christie and Pence both said you may not have the guts to come onto the debate.
Well, that's what people will say. They'll say,
dude, he's like scared to ask him. He's just like, come on, just say it. He's like, oh, well, some people are saying that people are scared, maybe. I don't know. Like, just fucking say it, pussy.
oh, he doesn't have the guts. He doesn't have the guts. I mean, I did CNN town hall. That was about as hostile as you can do. I did very well because, you know, I did so well that they fired the head of CNN.
Okay, to be fair, that is an environment where you are a Republican against a liberal establishment media. This would be a Republican channel with a Republican moderator, and it would be you against other Republicans. I don't know. I feel like him not doing the debate might actually hurt him, especially if any of these losers develop at least somewhat of a spine to openly call him out and be like, why are you so fucking scared? You keep saying that I'm polling so poorly. You keep saying I'm polling so poorly. What are you, fucking afraid of my little old self? Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? I don't know. I could see him not doing the debate backfiring on him a little bit because they love content. They love Trump. Trump thrives in debate environments. I'm saying this as a fan of like the content that Trump creates, which basically puts me in the same exact mentality as like 90% of his supporters. Like, they love him because of what he does. They don't love him because like he gave fucking he gave tax breaks to the top wealth bracket. You know what I mean? That's not the reason why they love him. They love him because he's content. I think that it's a good idea, and I think that his supporters might be disappointed. And if there is anyone that has like an ounce of charisma and smarts, they would use this against them to be like, you're too afraid to stand up to other Republicans because you're afraid that Americans might have a choice. Like, Republicans might have a choice. You're worried. What are you so scared of?
over that debate. But no, it's not a question of guts. It's a question of intelligence. And I'm going to make a decision. I haven't, totally ruled it out. I would love to do it in many ways because I sort of enjoy that. But we'll let people know next week.
Fani Willis. Fani.
I don't think he's going to do it, which is odd. I'd be shocked if he doesn't do it, but I don't think he's going to do it. He's like hyping it up like he's not interested in doing it. So, I don't know. I think even if he's going to debate, it's a tactical move to not publicly decide until the last second so his opponents in the primary don't know whether to prepare for a debate with Trump or without Trump. Yeah, I guess you're right. That does make sense. Not wrong.
Willis, the prosecutor in Georgia.
That could be. But like, he doesn't even need it. He does not need it. He does not need it. He doesn't need his opponents to like not be prepared. Even if they were prepared, he could fucking own them. You know what I mean? Like if you own a $5 subscription, you no longer care about the top of the hour ad break. Here's German ad break now.
Terrible.
They're in preparation, obviously, I would assume, for an indictment. What are your thoughts of her? Because there's some discussion that she may have some questionable background. There's some, her father may or may not have been in Black Panther. I think that was discussed. She's had perhaps incorrect relationships with some of the people, some of the gang members that she's also prosecuting right now. Can she give?
It's pretty crazy that they're just straight up saying that. I mean, I don't even know if it's true or not, but it's wild that they're just pumping that out there in the ether. It's crazy.
You a fair shake?
No, of course not. Look, I don't think the people of Georgia, where I did very well, and I won it the first time, and I won it, I think, by much more the second time. I can say that about the whole election, too. I don't think they'd stand for it. This woman is not a capable woman. She's a woman that has, and maybe she'll change her mind. And I don't know what she's doing. I really don't know. All I know is she could have done it 2.5 years ago if she was going to do something. And this is about a perfect phone call, a call where I'm questioning the election. I'm telling them that, in my opinion, the election was rigged. And they're saying that I did something incorrect. I didn't do anything wrong. I believe I won that election by many, many votes, many hundreds of thousands of votes. That's what I think. And I expressed that on the phone call. And I said, I don't know what the number was, like 11,000 or something. I said, what?
Oh, come on. You gave the exact number, bitch. Don't act like, dude, it's too late. Like, that's a phone call. You gave the exact number. You can't turn around and be like, oh, I don't know. I said 11,000, I think. You said the exact number. It's awesome. A less perfect phone call would have actually saved his ass a little bit. If he had just ballparked it, it would have been better. He gave a hyper-specific number. 11,870. That's insane. Too perfect. Phone call, too good. Shouldn't have done that.
What I need is 11,000 votes. I won this thing by hundreds of thousands of votes. That's my opinion, and it's a strong opinion, and I think it's borne out by the facts, and we'll see that. But she wants to do something on a perfect phone call. This call, I say, was more perfect than my call with Ukraine, which turned out to be a hell of a lot better than people even thought, because I was right about Ukraine. When I said you should look into and take a look at Biden, I called to congratulate Zelensky, nice guy. I call and I get along great with him. I get along great with Putin, and frankly, I'll have something worked out within literally 24 hours. I will get them to the table fast, and we'll get it worked out, because people are dying at levels that nobody's ever seen. But when you look at that phone call, that original phone call with Ukraine, I was so right about that. And I said, what's going on with Hunter Biden? It turns out he worked for Burisma, took in all of this tremendous amounts of money, and then the laptop from hell was discovered. And a lot of people, the first thing they said is, wow, Trump got impeached for nothing. He was right. Actually, he got impeached and he was 100% right.
Wow. That's what everybody said, famously, at the time. Wow. He got impeached for being the best president of all time. He did everything right, and they impeached him. I love that the Hunter Biden thing never ends, because then you relitigate the same exact conversations that have been happening since, like, 2019 at this point. 2019. but they unironically believe that. I feel like most Republicans forgot about the Burisma shit. They're just rehashing it now. Fox News hasn't talked about Burisma and Hunter Biden until this recent round of congressional hearings that were closed door, by the way, where the Burisma conversation was brought up again. And even then, they didn't actually get any serious, conclusive evidence against Hunter Biden. And so it just sucks. It's not very strong. It wasn't strong in 2019, and it still isn't strong. The same issues and the misdealings persist, but they are unfortunately not illegal. Unfortunately for the Trump situation, unfortunately for Trump's argument, and unfortunately for most people because it's just a case of nepotism, which should be illegal, but it isn't, right?
But
why is the closed door thing relevant? Because if they had actual, genuine, solid fucking proof, they would cross-examine all of the witnesses in broad daylight. Because when you're in Congress, you have the opportunity to have this be a publicized, televised hearing. The reason why they did it in a closed door is so they can just basically massage the details and feed information to Fox News so they can lie about it. Does that make sense? Because if you think that the congressional Republicans don't know how to make a big show when they want to drive home a narrative, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you'd be wrong. They do know. When it's a closed door meeting, they can basically say whatever the fuck they want. Obviously, it still has to be truthful. They can't just lie. But you know who can lie? Kayleigh McEnany. You know who can lie? Every other Jesse Waters and every other Fox News commentator. So basically, the reason why they do it in a closed door meeting is because while the real facts get reported in the news, they're written down. And most people are not reading the articles beyond the headlines. Whereas everybody's watching Brian Kilmeade talk about how, the closed door meeting was this and that. And there was a lot of, serious damning evidence against Hunter Biden. That is much easier to do narrative building around rather than actually televise it and then have Americans see personally that it was a whole bunch of nothing.
Need people with courage. Bill Barr was a coward. He was afraid to do things. He was afraid he was going to be impeached. And I was very rough on him, I will say. I said, you have to do something. You're an American. You have to do something, Bill. And he just was a coward. He was afraid to do anything. We need people of stature. We need people that are brave. We need people that are patriots. We don't need cowards because we're fighting a radical left fringe of this country. And I say it, the scariest we have dangers from within and from without. But the dangers from within are more dangerous because, the dangers from without, outside, China, Russia, etc., I can handle them. But these maniacs, these lunatics that we have in this country that go from one scam to another, Russia, the Mueller hoax. You look at the Mueller report. After 2.5 years, they found no collusion with Russia. You look at the fake dossier, the Steele dossier, fake, where the FBI offered him $1 million if he could support his own writings. He couldn't do it. A total fake deal. They're all fake stories. You look at the Pfizer reports. Look at the 51, just to bring it up to date, the 51 intelligence agents that said that the Hunter Biden laptop from hell was from Russia, okay? And it turned out to be false, and they knew it. You look at the Twitter and the FBI working together. You look at the DOJ and Facebook working together. You look at 2,000 Mules. Look at 2,000 Mules. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of tapes of people stuffing the ballot box. And this slob, Bill Barr, is a slob. He's a coward. He didn't do anything. He couldn't do anything. He wouldn't do anything about it. And it's a shame. And that was a mistake. I had some great people, really great people, but I had some that aren't so good. Bill Barr was one of them. Bolton was an idiot. But Bolton was good for me because everyone thought he was crazy. So every time I walked into a negotiation with a foreign country, they thought I was going to blow them up. I was going to go to war because he's a maniac. And I was able to make great deals with these foreign countries, so that was okay. But I know the people. I know the best ones, and I know the worst. I know the brave, the smart, the dumb. I know them all.
So brings me to the next question, Jack Smith.
Yeah.
Biden gets Merrick Garland to get Jack Smith to do these investigations of you.
Deranged. He's like a deranged human being.
Well,
I watch this guy.
What's his
fly on his face? That's always so creepy. Sorry. Are you listening? It's hilarious. Yes.
motivation? What's going on?
I think he's just a sick guy. He destroyed the lives of many people. He was overturned unanimously in the Supreme Court. I believe he's 0-5. In other words, he takes it to the end. He was involved with the IRS scandal, the big Lois Lerner IRS. That was him. That was his baby, where the government had to end up paying money, damages, and apologies all over the place, where they went after Christians and they went after...
Oh, my God. I fucking hate... God, I hate America so much. Only in America, baby. Only in America do you have a government entity that is like going after churches on tax schemes, and they get fucking punished for it. No, he's this is a old Obama era classic, okay? Obama's IRS goes after churches is like a classic meme. The IRS targeting controversy. In 2013, the United States Internal Revenue Service under the Obama administration revealed that it had selected political groups applying for tax-exempt status for intensive scrutiny based on their names or political themes. This led to wide condemnation of the agency and triggered several investigations, including an FBI one. Conservatives claimed that they were specifically targeted by the IRS, but an exhaustive report released on the Treasury Department's Inspector General found that the IRS used both conservative and liberal keywords to choose targets for further scrutiny. So remember, what's really important here is that, of course, the liberals would not just go after conservatives. Of course, they would go after liberals as well because they're fucking stupid. Okay? Because they're stupid. They're dumb. They should have just gone after everybody as well, but they should have gone after churches in general. And by the way, for the record, it wasn't even like remember, it's a controversy that turned into something much larger than it actually was. Okay? Tax exemption and donor anonymity. Jim Comey, who was the FBI. Oh, so here, initial reports describe selections as nearly exclusive conservative groups in terms such as Tea Party. According to Republican lawmakers, liberal-leaning groups and the Occupy movement had also triggered additional scrutiny, but at a lower rate than conservative groups. Republican majority on the House Oversight Committee issued a report which concluded that although some liberal groups were selected for additional review, the scrutiny that these groups received did not amount to targeting when compared to greater scrutiny received by conservative groups. The report was criticized by the committee's Democratic minority, which said that the report ignored evidence that the IRS used keywords to identify both liberal and conservative groups. In January, Jim Comey, who was the FBI director and a fucking major piece of shit Republican asshole, who he always was, told Fox News that its investigation had found no evidence so far warranting the filing of federal criminal charges in connection to the controversy. The Justice Department declared no criminal charges would be filed, but it didn't stop the Trump administration from lying about it, or Trump from lying about it. On September 8th, the Trump Justice Department declined to reopen the criminal investigation into Lois Lerner, a central figure in the controversy. So what keywords? They used keywords that identified political groups to give them additional scrutiny, which is understandable. In October 2017, the Trump administration agreed to settle a lawsuit filed on behalf of more than 400 conservative nonprofit groups who claim that they've been discriminated against by the IRS for an undisclosed amount described by plaintiffs' counsel as very substantial. The Trump administration also agreed to settle a second lawsuit brought by 41 conservative organizations with an apology and an admission from the IRS that subjecting them to heightened scrutiny and inordinate delays was wrongful. I fucking hate this country. Trump became president and immediately fucking forced the IRS, or rather, Trump became the president, and the administration settled a lawsuit over some bullshit. And now, Hasan hates USA. Maybe he should fuck off back to Iran. Yeah, I'm running towards your mother's pussy, and she loves it. Not even from Iran. Turkey. Anyway, 8/9 new cancellation holiday. Wait, why? What did I do? I didn't do anything that fucking is worthy of cancellation.
incredible people. Jack Smith, he's like a deranged individual. And I think we're doing very well with that guy, but he's a sick puppy. And you know, you look at the boxes. I come under the Presidential Records Act. I'm allowed to do everything that you see. Biden didn't. Biden's got 1,850 boxes. He's got boxes in Chinatown. Now, here's a guy getting money from China, and he's got boxes in Chinatown. That's big stuff. He's got boxes at Penn, totally unsecure, and he's got boxes under his Corvette, right behind his Corvette, sitting on a wet garage floor, classified documents. I never hear anything about that. It's a rigged system. It's a corrupt country. We're living in a very corrupt country, and I've exposed it. I fired Comey. That was a big thing when I fired Comey. I got rid of a lot of other people, too. And I was really knocking the hell out of the deep state. And then COVID came along, a gift from China. The China virus came along, and we did an incredible job in rebuilding. And by the time we handed over, we had the stock market at a higher point than it was just prior to COVID coming in, which was like a miracle what happened. And then you had all that we call them the returning jobs, the returning Trump jobs. They all started returning. And we did a great job with that. But the deep state is something we have to fight very strong in this country.
I talk to a lot of people. People will come up to me, even independents, liberals, and say, I'm not sure I like Trump, but I love the fact that when he gets back in there, he's going to clean house.
Like you wouldn't believe.
Where do you start? Who's first?
Well,
and where do you go?
I mean, it's sort of an easy question. The first thing I'm doing is we're going to have great border security. We're going to put Tom Homan and the guys. Brandon Judd's fantastic, as you know. You've interviewed him many times, and he's great. We have great people on the border. They want to do the job. It's incredible, actually, that they want to do it so much. They cry when they see what's happening. Our country's being invaded. But we're going to strengthen up the border. We're going to drill, baby, drill. I say it. We're going to drill. We're going to get the energy prices way, 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 way down. You famously dropped tomahawks on Syria with President Xi at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah.
I mean, it was an amazing moment. Why is Biden so afraid of China? What's going on with the Bidens and the Chinese that I heard today that Jennifer Granholm actually contacted the CCP when they were about to release oil from the SPR, and also maybe have sold some of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to a Chinese company that may have a link to Hunter Biden. What is with this? By the way,
the reserve, which I helped fill up, and now it's at the lowest point in history.
Right.
We have almost nothing. You know, that was meant for wars and military, not to reduce the gasoline prices for an election, which is what they did. And now it's almost empty. And I had it full. We were full. And I was buying it cheap, too, really cheap. And Congress was fighting me. The Democrats basically were fighting. I believe we have a compromised president. I believe he is so petrified of China because they know how much money has been given to him. And they know where it is.
You want to know the saddest part? This didn't happen. He didn't actually. He was right where he wanted to purchase 77 million barrels of oil. Okay? He did. During COVID. At an incredibly cheap price. And the Democrats blocked the proposal. So why doesn't he just say it? Why doesn't he basically say, I wanted to buy and fulfill our reserves and have even more oil than we ever had at a time when the price was so low during the pandemic. And the Democrats blocked the proposal. I feel like that is probably a better argument. Like, just be like, Democrats are so bad at business deals. No, the oil reserve. He's talking about the oil reserve. Because, like, our oil reserves are at a very low point at this moment because Biden had to utilize them during the in the aftermath of the Ukrainian invasion and Saudi Arabia refusing to increase production, which made oil prices skyrocket. Biden couldn't get American oil producers to increase their production capacity because they said, no, we're taking advantage of the situation. Fuck you. We only care about our fiduciary responsibility to our shareholders and not Americans. So Biden went in and started using our reserves. The reality is that if Trump had actually purchased 77 barrels of oil like he claims in this interview that he did, which he never did, there would be a lot more oil right now, and gas prices would even be better for Biden, most likely. Except the Democrats stopped it from happening, which is why it's odd that he doesn't just say that. Like, I'm good at doing business. I'm good at doing big business. I was going to buy so much oil. Democrats stopped me. You know, Biden would look better right now if he used the oil reserves that I bought for him. Bye-bye. You know, which is true. These guys, they hate me so much. They hate me so much. They're ruining America. So wait, Biden caused this? Stickers on all the gas pumps are actually correct? No, of course they're not correct because it's not like it's outside. It's not like Biden is an oil producer. He can only do so much. He should have fought harder. He could have whipped up Saudi Arabia, or more importantly, he could have gotten American oil and gas industry to genuinely boost production. He basically got not that much out of the American oil and gas producers, while also giving them everything that they wanted in the form of new wells that they opened up, in the form of new wells that they gave permits for, which they didn't even need to because those wells have nothing to do with current oil production. You know?
And I tell you, Jamie Comer's done an incredible job. Jim Jordan, they've done an incredible job. But they found, as of today, I think $32 million that went into his accounts and the various accounts of the family. That's a tremendous amount of money. And nothing was done for it. It was just a bribe. It's just a bribe, extortion and a bribe. When you see him talking about the $1 billion for the prosecutor, I'm amazed nothing was ever done. You know, you talk about quid pro quo. That was quid pro quo. But I believe that China has paid them a lot more than that. You look at University of Pennsylvania, you take a look at what's going on over there, where China pays millions and millions of dollars. The Biden Center, and I guess they pay him $1 million a year, or I think they have it $999,000 a year. That way you don't have to maybe report because it's under $1 million. But I believe we have a compromised person as president. I believe that China has paid him a fortune. I've never seen anybody so weak on China. China's.
You need to go to him with tears in your eyes and say, "Sir, I can help you win. I can do this for him."
Eating our lunch. They're taking over Cuba. They're taking over South America. They're taking over everything. This all happened over the last 3 years.
China and Russia. Now, all of a sudden, doing military exercises in the Aleutian Islands near Alaska.
Right, that's right.
That's very dangerous
unthinkable.
for us.
So that we heard about that 2 days ago, would have never happened.
Yeah, actually, you're right about that too. Exactly. Regarding the federal documents case from earlier, the funniest part is that Trump could easily just say, "I did nothing wrong. I'm allowed to do it," and so is Biden. But he has to be so fantastical about it and says, "I'm allowed to do it, but Biden did it too," which is bad. Yes, you're right. I've pointed this out a bunch of times before as well, which is that, like, he's like, Hillary Clinton, she's not allowed to do it. I wanted to lock her up. Me, on the other hand, I can do it. What the fuck? Biden too. Fuck that guy. Also doesn't mention Mike Pence, which he could technically mention Mike Pence as well, because Mike Pence was under the same exact probe that Biden went under.
If I were president, that would have never happened. I would have called each one. I said, "Stop. It's not going to happen." And they would have listened to me 100%. So it's very sad. I think it's the weakest our country has ever been. And I do think we have a Manchurian candidate. This is a president who's a Manchurian candidate. This is a president who's fully compromised. He's so afraid of China. And the reason he's afraid is because I believe they paid him a tremendous amount of money. And he doesn't want people to find out about it.
President, the House has said, Marjorie Taylor Greene and others, Lauren Boebert, I believe, have said it's time to impeach Biden, impeach the president. they can't get full support of the full GOP. They can't lose 6 votes, and they don't believe they have it right now. Kevin McCarthy said we're going to do an inquiry into impeaching President Biden. Is it time, given what we now know from Comer today, with another $20 million going into the Biden coffers and all they're buying Corvettes and whatnot with their money, with Kazakhstan money, is it time the GOP gets behind these two who are calling for the impeachment?
Well, the reason, there are 2 reasons, Joey, but one of the reasons they go after me is because the Republicans are going after them. And going after them very, very powerfully. But something has to happen. I mean, it's just, it's massive theft. It's
calling him a Manchurian candidate is new, and I like that. That's the kind of bold creativity that I expect from Donald Trump.
It's extortion. It's nobody's ever seen anything like it. This is the most corrupt human being. This is the most corrupt family. For these things to be happening is not even believable. And I heard a couple of Republicans, nice people, and they said, well, we have other things to worry about. We have to do this. We have to do that. What could be more important than this? The other reason they go after me is because I'm leading in the election, because they would have done this 2.5 years ago. You know, they're very late. You don't do this in the middle of the campaign. Nobody ever thought it was possible. In fact, it's taboo. You don't do this during a campaign. They did all this stuff. And they're the ones that control Georgia, by the way. And they're the ones that control New York, the Manhattan DA. I got indicted for no crime. There's not even a crime. Everyone's talking about it, even the Democrats say, don't do this. This is crazy. And the DA didn't want to do it for 2 years. All of a sudden, he got forced to do it. They put their people into the DA's office. So this is all being led by the DOJ. Fannie Willis isn't doing that. The whole thing, the DOJ is leading so much because what they want is they want to interfere with the election. So that's one. And the other thing, if you take a look at it, they don't want to run against Donald Trump.
So let me ask you, there are 2 competing theories on this, right? One of them is they have some internal polling that they think Biden has a better chance of beating Donald Trump.
It's not internal polling. Look, they don't have internal polling. They're all disinformation, misinformation.
Or is it
the only one they don't want to run against is Donald Trump. I beat Hillary Clinton.
Or do they not see that you are polling, and now you're polling above Biden? Yes. And is it maybe they just can't help themselves?
They take it and they go the opposite. They say the opposite. They don't want to run against me, so they say, we want to run against Trump. And then the stupid fake news, or not fake news, they get along with it. Oh, they really want to run against, they don't want to. If they wanted to run against me, they wouldn't have me being indicted every single day, every time my airplane flies over a blue state. They don't want to run against me. Remember a person named Hillary Clinton? They said the same thing. Oh, we most want to run against, it's very interesting. They made that statement. Oh, we want to run against Donald Trump. And then Bill Clinton, who's a professional, he's a pro, like him or not, he said, the one you don't want to run against is Donald Trump. And he said it very loud and clear, and it turned out that he was right. He also said I was going to win Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. He predicted this before, and he told his wife, you're not doing the right thing. And just like they said that, they didn't believe it, but like they said that, now they said, oh, well, we want to really run against. DeSantis is a failed candidate. If I didn't endorse DeSantis, he wouldn't have ever won. He was he was out. Then I endorsed him, and he went up and he was able to win. He went up massively in one night after I endorsed him. But he was a failed candidate. And you know what? He's a failed candidate again. He's got no personality. He's got nothing going. And he's dropped like a rock. I don't even think he's going to be 2 number long. I mean, somebody's going to come along like maybe Tim Scott or somebody and probably take his place. And probably this stops him in 28. He could have walked into 28, maybe.
He can't even get him to say, he can't even get himself to say, like, this would have, if he didn't do this, maybe he had a shot in 2028, which is true, right? I agree. I do believe that. But then he stops himself before he completes that sentence and goes, probably not, because, he just doesn't have any charisma, right? Like, he can't even get himself to say anything nice about him.
Still have to campaign. You don't walk into anything. This is a tough world in politics. This is a nasty, nasty world, as we found out. Probably it's never been nastier than it is right now because we have sick people. We have sick people in office. And again, they are a bigger problem than the outside world, because the outside world you can, for the most part, you can cajole, reason with. They need things that we have. You can do things with them. But these people that we have, these radical fascists and Marxists that we have in our government, you can't talk to them. They're nuts.
He's
They're
right.
Crazy.
President Obama.
Both radical fascists and Marxists, which, you know, two groups of people that notoriously, you know, they get along real well.
Obama visited Joe Biden a couple of weeks ago and said, be wary of Donald Trump. You guys are taking it too lightly, taking him too lightly. What are your thoughts on Obama?
Well, he's not taking it too lightly. He indicted me 3 or 4 times. I haven't checked. By the time I walk out, they'll probably indict me. Indicting, when I went to the Great Wharton School of Finance, we didn't have a course on indictments and, you know, all of the things that go with the indictment stuff. No, he's not taking it not seriously. He's probably taking it more seriously than any candidate in history because he has the Justice Department that he said he was going to do. If you look back 2 years, he made a statement that we will stop Donald Trump. Then he goes, constitutionally. He doesn't even know what the Constitution is. The guy can't put together 2 sentences. He can't talk. Every time I watch him talk, it's almost like he's walking on eggs. You wonder, is he going to get through the sentence? We have a totally, grossly incompetent man who was incompetent 20 years ago, by the way. He was never the smartest. You know, Ted Kennedy, you heard the story. Ted Kennedy was a friend of mine because of Palm Beach. I did him a very big favor. And I said, who was the smartest senator? He told me. I won't tell you because I don't like the guy. But I said, who's the smartest senator? He gave me a name. He said, who's your dumbest senator? This is 25 years ago. Who's your dumbest? He says, probably Joe. I said, Joe who? Joe Biden.
Joe Mama, come on. Oh, dude, my head hurts. That was definitely way more. That's more than I thought it was going to be. That's so much. Okay, maybe he's not back. I can't take him in like full uninterrupted 2-hour long rants. Like I can't do that. Was that just a single question? No, I don't even know what that was, dude. I forgot what the question was. Like, he just hasn't shut the fuck up. It's crazy how much he rants. Oh my God. He was asking about Obama and he started rambling on Biden.
This was never a genius 25 years ago, but now he's grossly incompetent. And the sad part, and the dangerous part, is that we are on the cusp of possible World War III. And this will not be army tanks shooting at each other. These are nuclear weapons, a level of weaponry that the world has never seen before. And we have a man that is incompetent. He has no idea. You take a look at what he's done. Take a look at the money standard. Take a look at all these countries that are going off the dollar. They're being forced off the dollar. I mean, Saudi Arabia is, he goes to Saudi Arabia and he gives the king or the crown prince, who will be the king, but probably I heard gave the king also a fist bump. What is a fist bump? A fist bump is don't shake my hand because your hands are dirty. I don't want to shake your hand. And
he offended the Saudi Arabian king. He's a prince, but he could be the king. He's my king. It's like if Trump did that shit, CNN would be saying this, and Trump would be like, yeah, I did that. I did that because, you know, I wanted to show him how strong I am.
they were very insulted by that. But Saudi Arabia now is very much in the arms of China and many countries. But you look at what's happening in South America and you look at what's happening in Cuba. So Cubans, I'm at 95% with Cuba. I don't know who the 5% are, but they want to go back and they want to see their country. They want to see their parents. They want to see their sisters and brothers. China is taking over Cuba, and nobody talks about it. The biggest shame of everything is that the fake news doesn't write about it. I don't see any stories about China building military installations in Cuba.
That's scary. Final question, Mr. President. Melania Trump, she was a huge part of your first, she was a great first lady.
Yeah, she was very popular, too.
Is she up for it? Is she ready for another 4 years as first lady?
Well, she really is, and she, you know, it's very interesting. I was talking to her the other day, and she said, it's so sad what's happening to our country. She just said it just so poignantly, but really so, it was sad, and yet it expressed it. She said, it's so sad what's happening. She looks at the news and you see the border. Now, actually, for the most part, the news, you know, the fake news doesn't report it. You report it incredibly. For you, it's like one of your biggest subjects because our country is being poisoned by people that are coming in that shouldn't be here. But she looked at it, and it was that, it was interest rates, it was the housing market, it was so many different things all. And she said, it's so sad what's happening to our country. No, she's 100%. And I think you've been seeing reports lately that she feels very strongly about it, not because she wants to do it.
I don't think she loves him, right? Fuck no. Brother, they've not been by each other's side. Not only Trump hasn't been by Melania in a while since the presidency ended, but also his daughter and Jared Kushner have not been by his side either. Kind of interesting. Like they haven't been publicly showing support at all, which is odd.
She had a very nice life before, I'll tell you. She
fucking Matthew Calamari. Hey, Matthew fucking Calamari. That's who Barron Trump's dad really is.
She thinks it's very important. She thinks our country is being destroyed.
Well, we thank you. The American people thank you. I thank you, Newsmax.
Thank you. And great job, great success. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
All right, folks, now just a note, Newsmax has accepted the election results as legal and final.